Welcome back to No Textbook for Life. I'm your host, Malia Johnson. Around here, we talk about the real life lessons school forgot to teach us, the stories, struggles, and surprises that shape who we are. Every episode is a little different. Sometimes it's just me. Sometimes I bring on guests, but it's always real, honest, and straight from the heart. So get comfy, take a breath, and let's get into today's episode. I kind of feel like I'm all over the place, but welcome back to No Textbook for Life. Today is episode 11, and I just want to recognize that I am so proud of myself for posting a video the last 11 weeks. That is crazy to me. I just love it, and I hope that my daughters can watch and learn from these lessons one day when they are older. Okay, today we're talking about something that doesn't get talked about enough. The complicated emotions that come with pregnancy and early motherhood. Maybe you're scared, anxious, or feel guilty for not feeling excited, or maybe your baby is here and you're supposed to love them instantly, except it doesn't feel that way. I want you to know right now, you are not alone. None of this makes you a bad mom. And we're going to unpack why these feelings happen, what science says, and practical ways to navigate them. Plus, I'll share my personal stories from my first and second pregnancies and how my experiences shaped my bonding with my babies. And I want to say that this topic and episode is dedicated to my sister and inspired by her concerns about being a first-time mom. And as she was telling me her concerns, I just remembered the same exact feelings and concerns that I had when I was pregnant with my first baby. So I wanted to dive into the pregnancy emotions and fear, and also the emotions you get when it's time for birth and motherhood. Okay? So when you're pregnant, everyone expects you to glow, to smile, post your ultrasound, get excited. But what if fear is louder than joy? What if excitement feels wrong? That's actually way more common than people think. When I was pregnant with my first baby, I didn't feel the glow. I wasn't really a girly girl, and the idea of people treating me differently made me uncomfortable. I didn't want to feel weak or vulnerable. And on top of that, there was fear. The fear of losing my baby, the fear that something could go wrong. Those thoughts were constant. And for me, who is a constant worrier, it was a struggle. Although I sincerely believe that fear is just normal. Like, that part is normal. I remember feeling guilty though anytime I tried to get excited. I think, what if my baby doesn't make it? I shouldn't be excited. And I really struggle with disappointment. I don't like that feeling. And so to offset that, I try not to get excited so I don't have to deal with disappointment, which does make life really sad. So we're going to talk about how to navigate these feelings and how to name them and feel them and put them out on the table. And if you've ever felt that too, just know you're not alone. Up to 20% of expectant mothers experience high anxiety during pregnancy. Anxiety can manifest as obsessive worry, physical tension, or even trouble sleeping. If someone close to you has experienced miscarriage or stillbirth, your brain will naturally heighten vigilance. So fear is a protective mechanism. Cortisol rises when you feel anxious. Chronic cortisol can affect sleep, energy, and even your mood towards bonding later. And a lot of these things that I have talked about affect sleep. And we all know that sleep is important. And when we don't have enough, many other issues come about. My sister is currently 20 weeks pregnant. And she was expressing to me that she was struggling to feel excited about her baby because someone close to her had experienced a loss. And I remember feeling the same way with my first. I wanted to feel joy, but fear was always there, and it's exhausting. You feel guilty for not feeling happy, but then you feel guilty for feeling happy because someone close to you experienced a loss, which only adds stress to yourself and your baby. Here are some tips. Number 1, name your feelings. I am anxious, and that's okay. Giving it a name takes power away from the fear. Number 2, a grounding exercise. Close your eyes, notice your 5 senses, breathe slowly. Even 3 to 5 minutes a day can help. And I can attest to this because during my struggle with postpartum depression, this was an exercise that my therapist had me do daily. And it really helped me to come back to the present and not get so far ahead in my head. Number 3 is journaling. Write letters to your baby or just document your worries. It's surprisingly therapeutic, and I actually did this with my second baby. I would write her daily letters in my notes in my phone. And I don't know why I did that. It just felt comforting to be able to talk to her, but through writing. Number 4 is micro bonding rituals. Talk to your bump, play music, or gently rub your belly. These moments count, and I can also attest to this because my husband loved to play music for our babies when they were in the womb. In my first child, he wanted her to love George Strait as much as he did, and so he would play George Strait for her every day, and he would sing along. And that baby, she loves her dad, and she loves George Strait. And we noticed that the first 2 years of her life, she had to listen to George Strait every single day. It helped her calm down when she was fussy, and it helped her to go to sleep, helped her in car rides, with everything. So we know George well. But it's all because he would play George Strait for her every day when she was womb, and I think it was just comforting to her at that point. Okay, here's a little question to digest. Have you ever felt guilty for not feeling excited about your baby? I just want to say that that feeling is normal, and you're not broken as a woman or as a mom or pregnant woman, okay? And while fear is part of pregnancy, it can also shape how you bond after birth. Now, let's talk about that next. Everyone says bonding happens instantly. But what if it doesn't? What if your baby is taken for routine checks or you just don't feel it right away? That's more common than you think. And when I read that, I felt comforted knowing that it wasn't just me and I wasn't the problem, because it was something that I struggled with my first baby, and it made me feel sad and guilty about it. But 10 to 20% of new mothers report difficulty bonding with their newborn. This is often linked to birth experience, anxiety, or postpartum mood disorders. Which, when it comes to birth experience, with my first, I felt extremely out of control while being in the hospital. I felt that nobody was listening to me, and I was trying to vocal what I needed, and it wasn't being met. I also had an extremely traumatic and awful third trimester, and I wonder if that played a part in how we bonded after she was born. Skin to skin contact, okay? It promotes oxytocin, which releases for both mom and baby, helping attachment. This is true also for dads, okay? So make sure you get in that skin to skin contact. It's very important. Baby recognition, even if you feel disconnected, babies can recognize your voice and scent immediately. With my first, my baby was taken away right after birth for routine checks. I loved her, but I didn't know how to show it. I just felt awkward and uncomfortable, especially I am definitely more of a modest person, and being sprawled out on a table as vulnerable as I was, it was just something that was really hard for me, and I felt like I had to try to find some kind of control in that environment, and I couldn't just focus on my baby at the time. Even holding her felt strange because I was just so exhausted and anxious. But contrast that with my second baby, I had a home birth and nobody took her away. I held her, my husband held her. We were together from the start. I felt present, which made a world of difference for bonding, especially since like my birth team left when she was only 4 hours old, and then she was just all mine, and I didn't have to worry about nurses coming to take her away from me. Here are some tips. Number 1 is micro interactions. Even 2 to 3 minutes of skin to skin singing or gentle talking counts. 2 is normalize delayed bonding. Some moms bond gradually over hours, days, or even weeks, which is completely normal. 3, ask for early contact. If you're in a hospital, request skin to skin and rooming in policies. Number 4, include your partners. Your partner can help facilitate bonding, reducing stress, and increasing connection for you and your baby, and you and your partner. And your partner and the baby. And a little side note, I do wish that I was told that it's okay for it to be awkward. Like, this was another little human being that I had just been given, and we're both getting to know each other. So it's something that it happens, right? And maybe normalize that not every bonding experience is going to be universally the same. And bonding is closely linked with your mental state. So let's talk about how to prep emotionally for birth and motherhood so fear doesn't dominate your experience. Mental prep for birth and motherhood is so essential, and I can't say that more because with my first, I did not prep at all. And with my second, I vigilantly prepped. And there was just a huge difference between both pregnancies, birth, postpartum, and just everything mentally, emotionally, and physically. Because birth isn't just physical, it's a mental marathon. Anxiety, fear, and uncertainty are normal, but there are ways to prepare your mind. Continuous support during labor actually reduces C-section rates and increases satisfaction. Visualization, mindfulness, and affirmations reduce anxiety and improve birth experiences. Also, fun fact, your brain releases oxytocin even when anticipating positive contact with your baby. So mental prep does work. With my first, I was terrified, of course. Being a first-time mom, I had no idea what to expect, and every fear seemed amplified. However, with my second, I knew what to expect. I was healthy, and I was prepared mentally. I took basically a 10-hour birthing class in 2 sessions that was just plain and simple. Told me what to expect, what the process looks like, and what to do to prepare and things like that. And the more I know, the more I feel that I can handle anything. It goes back to that need for some kind of control. Like I said, I was prepared mentally, and that helped me focus on bonding with my baby because my mindset was strong and my support system was ready. So here's some tips for bonding. Okay, number 1, daily affirmations. I am capable. I am safe. My baby is safe. And I guess these are tips for mentally preparing, not bonding, but same thing, right? Let's go back to daily affirmations. Another daily affirmation that I included with my second baby was that my ancestors had done this before. And I have a lot of pioneer ancestry, and I even have a great grandmother on the trail trekking from the East Coast to Utah. And she gave birth to a child while on this trail, which I think is insane. But I figured if my pioneer ancestors can do this, then I can do this from the comfort of my own home with modern medicine. Also, number 2, visualization. Picture yourself holding your baby, breathing calmly, supported by your partner or midwife. And this you can do in your mind, but my midwife actually had us draw out a picture of what we wanted our birthing experience to look like. And so I drew the little birthing tub and me in it with our baby, and I drew all of our little stick people to represent my support system that was there. And it was a fun process to visualize that and then put our visualizations down on paper. Number 3 is a birth plan. Write down preferences, but also plan for flexibility, because life will rarely follow a script. Okay, make sure you have a birth plan, but it has to be flexible. Make sure you have a few backup plans. Number 4, check your support system. Identify who you want with you, how they can help, and what roles they will play. This is so important because you don't want your support system to be overbearing, overwhelming. Just, you don't want them to bring you down or cause you any more stress. You have to be extremely picky with who you allow to be present in such a special occasion, right? You are bringing life to this world, and make sure you bring that life into a world that is in control and surrounded by loving people who love you and want the best for you and who are willing to do what is right by you. Okay, so don't invite someone who is going to try to talk the doctors into doing against what you just said, right? So really, really think about who you want with you when you are probably going through one of the hardest things in your life. Also, think about one fear you have about birth or motherhood. Name it out loud, then write it down. Write down one small action you can take to feel prepared. Okay, even a tiny step counts. And whenever you get the chance to be able to brain dump on paper, I think that is so helpful. It just gets it out of your mind and set into action. Anyways, after all that, I just want to say that pregnancy and early motherhood are complicated. Fear, guilt, anxiety, and delayed bonding are more common than you think. You don't have to feel perfect or magical to love your baby. Small, consistent steps like talking, touching, or journaling can make a huge difference. Try one bonding ritual this week. Even 5 minutes of talking, singing, or gentle touch will help you connect with your baby, even if it feels awkward at first. And to wrap it up, you've survived another episode of No Textbook for Life. There's no handbook for this, and you're doing better than you think. I'll see you next time for more real, raw, research-backed parenting truths. And if you want to watch the video version, go to my YouTube channel, Modern American Mama. Give us a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.